Welcome back to Dr. Lexi's Kitchen, and this is part 2. And in this part, I'm going to basically demonstrate the 2 side dishes that we're going to enjoy with our steak. And so the first dish is going to be basically the broccoli cauliflower mash. It's really popular. It's a great alternative to basically potatoes. Broccoli is going to be really rich in coenzyme Q10. So what I've done here is I've just basically taken one whole stalk of broccoli, and I'm going to chop off the broccoli like that. And I'm actually going to reserve the stalk because maybe I want to do a broccoli soup, or maybe I want to compost this or juice it. So don't throw this away. Actually think about how you could be using this in other ways. So I'm going to put this aside. And from the broccoli, just super easy, because remember, we're going to be steaming the heck out of this. So I just throw it into the pot. And this here is a steamer. It's a two piece. So the bottom piece is already on the stove, and there's going to be a little bit of water at the bottom of it. And then this just simply goes on top with the lid, and you just let it steam away. No fuss. So I'm just going to break this apart and let it go in. Maybe I want to make that a little bit smaller. No big deal. Super easy. And then the cauliflower, you know, I can just break that apart. Really easy. You don't have to make a big mess of it. Done. And literally, you take it over to the pot, cover it up, and let it steam. And essentially, one other thing that I want to point out is that with the cauliflower, if you haven't worked with this particular vegetable before, you can take these parts here and cut it off, and then again, I reserve that over to the side like this, because I might juice this later. Or maybe I throw it into my broccoli soup as well. So be thinking about that. All right, so that's dish number 2. And then dish number 3 is essentially, we have kale that we're gonna saute. And I love colors, so I'm gonna add a nice bright red. So this is gonna be a red bell pepper. And then I actually am going to be sauteing a yellow onion with some mushroom and then some garlic. And then those spices that we put together earlier, I'm actually going to be using that as part of the dish with the kale, and you'll see how I do that in a minute. And a couple things I also wanted to do is, I'm going to throw in a mushroom as well. So if you work with mushrooms, great. If not, I simply pop that off, throw it in. If you compost, you can throw it into your compost. And then I actually take off the outer layer of the mushroom. You don't have to do this, but we do. And just kind of a personal preference. And then take the knife, and I actually, I'm not a chef, but this is how I do it, and feel free if you're a chef and you're watching this and you want to chime in and critique on the way I cut, totally fine. But for me, I like to stabilize my knife, have my fingers nice and tucked in, and slice away. All right, and then I've also left my onion uncut, and I will cry like a baby when I do this, but I'll just show you how I cut my onion. And essentially all of this is going to be going into the kale dish. And one of the things about onions, as you're picking an onion, the bright yellow onions are actually really high in what we call quercetin, which is really, really good for your immune system, and it's really anti-inflammatory too. So I like to work with the yellow onions. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention about garlic is that as you've, here's your garlic here. Once you crush the garlic and chop it up, whatever you do, as it's being exposed to the air, it's actually activating all those fabulous medicinal properties that garlic provides for you. So the longer it's actually sitting here exposed, the better. So I've kind of left this out pre-crushed. That's not always the case. Like with the bell peppers, it's ideally better to cut up and go ahead and cook. But for garlic, leave it exposed so that you can get all of those fabulous, wonderful things garlic provides. But again, coenzyme Q10, really rich in your broccoli, kale, and spinach. All right, so we'll go into part 3, which is cooking time.